Well, we talked about those couple of fraud cases, one at the state capitol, the other up in Minnesota. A local woman now in trouble with law for allegedly committing fraud against an old boyfriend to the tune of thousands of dollars. Let's get out to Doug Evans, who's on top of this story for us this afternoon. Doug?
Hey, good afternoon, Tom. You know, it's not unusual for someone to bilk an ex out of child support payments. That's happened before. But this story has a different twist, and it's one that the Coweta County Sheriff's Office wants to get out there in case there are other victims or anyone who might have information about it. Let's roll some video for you and show you who we're talking about. It was not a good New Year's Eve for 18-year-old Brya Hardy. She was taken into custody here at the Sheriff's Office and charged with theft by deception. We're told her ex-boyfriend came up here in early December, told investigators that he believed that he was the victim of a scam perpetrated by Hardy, in which he had paid her over $7,000 in child support payments. She claimed to him that they had had a child together, a little baby, and that he was responsible for helping her to raise this baby, and even sent him photographs and everything else. Turns out in the investigation that the child was not his. Turns out that the child wasn't hers either, belonged to somebody else. Well, investigators here are asking anyone who has information on this case or had any dealings with her before to contact them. As we said, fraudulently requesting child support payments from an ex is not necessarily anything new, but using somebody else's child to do it, even sending the photographs. So Coweta County investigators want to make sure that there's nobody else out there. So if you have any information, they're asking you to call the Coweta County Sheriff's Office and share that information with them. Theft by deception is the charge here, and again, she was taken into custody hours before midnight at the start of the new year.
Incredible, Doug, the lengths somebody will go to defraud somebody. How did these allegations surface in the first place? In other words, did the ex-boyfriend report her to police?
He must have suspected something, Tom, for him to come forward here to investigators in early December. Then they started at work on his allegations, learned that the child was not his. In fact, the child belonged to somebody else. There is a child. There is a baby. The photographs are real. Trouble is, it doesn't belong to her or him. She apparently used somebody else's baby to convince him that it was his and hers, and he had some responsibility to the child. Kudos for him, paying $7,000, helping her to raise this child or whatever through financial support, but apparently it wasn't warranted in this case.
So maybe I'm digging a little too deep here, but does she know the child that she alleged was hers, and is he going to get that money back?
Well, it's going to be up to the court, I think, as this case meanders through the legal system now, to see if he gets any restitution in the case. That's certainly something that'll probably be on the table from the prosecutor's office here. In terms of whether or not, she knows the child, that's we simply don't know that.
Yeah. Great investigative reporting there. Doug Evans, live for us in Coweta County with the bust of this woman fraudulently claiming it was her child to this ex-boyfriend and getting $7,000 worth of his money. Doug, thanks for that.